My name is capFreddy, and today we are going to talk about the Boeing B-17. That's a beautiful starting engine sound, isn't it? That's my co-pilot. Take your hands off that flight stick, man. Flap set to take off. Put some right rudder trim because all engines are turning to the same side. We have a huge B factor to the left. Put some elevator trim up and start. First with 50%, let the engines accelerate a little bit, then you put 100, hold it a little bit on the brakes, and then let it go. You're going to see that during the takeoff run, we should lift our tail from the ground to reduce drag, the angle of attack from the wings, in order to accelerate faster and to improve our takeoff performance and the initial climb phase too. So let it accelerate until the end of the runway to something around 200 kilometers an hour. As soon as you have a positive rate of climb, put your gear up, let it climb a little bit. We are going to do a full mission from takeoff to instrument meteorological condition flying and back. That's it. Let it accelerate and retract flaps. Now we are got raised. Sometimes it's a little bit annoying to be watching a full mission video because everybody has its way of playing, so I'm just switching to map and to cockpit view and stuff like that, but I decided to leave it like that on this video without editing. So it's going to be a full mission with my screen. So as you're going to the target, we must cooperate with other pilots and vice versa. So I was asking for some escort and marked on the map my position, so if somebody wanted to, you're going to see that nobody wanted to, but I think we should cooperate more. That's why I participate on events and stuff like that, because it's much more fun to have a real objective, a real mission, and to cooperate with other players to achieve a certain result. So that's it. You have to maintain your aircraft trimmed for your movement and the pitch movement and rolling. So if you let go the controls, like the flight stick, if you're using a joystick, it should maintain its attitude. So the pitch angle, the roll, you're going to see that's a low level cloud layer there, around 2000 meters, something like that. I like to use the cloud layer to hide a little bit. I know in water we are not really hidden by the clouds, but there is that certain distance when the aircraft stop being a black dot to being actual flight models and an actual aircraft model, 3D model, that sometimes is hard for the attacker to see our airplane there. Then it's covered by the clouds. So at that point you might hide yourself, or at least make it a little bit more difficult for the attacker. So I like to fly inside the clouds, but to fly inside the clouds you must know some basic techniques. What do you say that? Some basic things to do to fly the IFR, instrument flight rules. If you're not a pilot, when you are in instrument meteorological condition, you have to fly as instrument flight rules, and we have some techniques that must be used to fly it. And the first one is how you scan flow. You have the horizontal artificial horizon there on the middle of the left panel. So we have 6 instruments there. The left ones are the airspeed and altitude. The middle high one is turn and bank, and then we have the artificial horizon. Then we have the climb rate to the right and the direction indicator. So how do you do it? Let's zoom in. The scan flow works like that. You have to maintain attention in your primary instrument, that is the artificial horizon. So you go like this. You have your attention on the horizon now, and then to the climb, and back to horizon, and then to the airspeed, and back to horizon, and then to the altimeter, and back to horizon, and to heading, back to horizon, and to climb, and back to horizon, and airspeed, back to horizon, altitude, back to horizon. So you are always checking your artificial horizon to know your airplane attitude, and that's why it's so important for you to maintain the aircraft trimmed. So if you let go the controls, the aircraft's going to be flying, and it's a really stable platform, the B-17. I really like Boeing's. I'm sorry about the Airbus lovers or stuff like that, but I'm a Boeing guy. I flew the 727 in real life as a cargo airplane, and I really liked Boeing philosophy, and I think the B-17 is a really beautiful airplane. This one is pretty stockish. It's almost, I think it's all stock. That flight I didn't do any upgrade. So as you can see, our airplane is trimmed, and now I'm not zooming in the horizon, but I'm always looking to the horizon. That's where you look at. Where are you going to look when you're flying instrument? You're 90% of the time you're looking to your artificial horizon. That's the main. We cannot stress it too much because it's the most important. So we always change into navigation. So I'm looking, comparing the ground to my map, trying to find our target, and I found it, and I opened the bomb bay door. And if you fly bombers, it must have happened to you at least once, but it's pretty common to happen that you get to the target and press the button and don't drop the bombs because you forgot to open your bomb bay door. So when you see your target, go to a mental checklist like that: airplane trimmed, bomb bay door, start bomb run. That's it. I like to try to hit some AA as I hit the airfield, so I try to aim for this lateral alignment there that sometimes have AA. So if I do another bomb run, it should be better. So now I'm doing a turn. Where am I looking at? I'm looking at the artificial horizon, climb, artificial horizon, altimeter, artificial horizon, and airspeed. And I'm doing a really tight turn there. That's what you should do. As soon as you drop your bomb, do a 180 degrees and go back, because anything different than that, you're going to be closer to the airfield. And now our gunners are opening up on some AI guys. This was an AI airplane, and that's why they called Flying Fortress. Lots of guns and really tough. And I'm trying to aim with my pad from my PlayStation 4. It's really, I really must use it. Find a mouse. There's another one. It's already a bot. It's a bot too. I'm not really good at aiming gunners because I'm using that control pad. That's basically the same thing as you have on a laptop. It's really not good too. It's awful. Okay. So bye bye, Leroy. Go burning hell. Thank you. That's it. Well, it took some damage to the rudder, to the elevator. We got roll on the left horizontal stabilizer there, and lots of holes from the mid section to the rear one. So as you can see, I'm flying full instrument meteorological condition. I'm inside clouds. I'm going to do a left turn there. I'm descending a little bit. Sometimes you're going to lose some because you don't have how do you say that, precision control on water, and it's not really good to stabilize it. I'm trying to trim it back the airplane. Since we dropped the bombs, we have to adjust our elevator trimming to that condition. We have dropped a lot of weight. Again, I'm looking at the artificial horizon and flying an instrument meteorological condition. Like I said, I think it's best to fly inside a cloud like that. And it really reminds me of the airline flying, because we are flying a bomber like that. We are crawling through the map. As you can see, there were lots of players on this match. Wasn't many bots there and the enemy team. So as you can see, my left wing is damaged and my right wing is not. So I'm going to plan an approach where my last turn is going to be to the good wing side. And why should we do it? Because in water and the airplane, when you try to pitch it up, to do a pitch up movement, it tends to roll in the to the side of the damaged wing. And when we enter a turn, we must pitch up. And when we enter a turn, if we do it to the bad wing side, it already has a tendency to turn into, and we might not be able to overcome the rolling movement. So you might enter a spin. So I like to plan my approach to do turns to the right, in this case to the right, or to the good wing side. I already explained in the video, but it's only in Portuguese. So, but if you want to watch it, it's no-brainer to do a corkscrew over the airfield. So I maintain altitude until I reach the vertical of the airfield and do a tight turn. I set a landing configuration to flaps to landing, gear down, and start a tight turn on a corkscrew movement until spiral to the airfield. But here I wasn't able to do it because I lost part of my elevator. The tail section was damaged, so it was not very safe to do it. So I'm planning a normal approach, like it's pretty much how we do it with an airline or something like that. That's how you would approach a visual situation without instrument approach. No. So as I always say, when you have structural damage, you should apply flaps, lower your landing gear with some time to evaluate if it's not, how do you say that, causing some tendency to roll to one side or whatever. Bombers can have really low airspeed approach because they already dropped the weight, so they tend to have good lift to the wings when they are empty. But plan your approach carefully so you can do a gliding slope that it's not too steep or too shallow, because you might have to apply engine with the aircraft damaged. So flaps on landing position and landing gear down, green lights. You should do that checklist on final approach. And you have to hold it's a pity that it doesn't show the pilot's movement, but I'm holding the flight stick back, all the way back, and applying brakes. I think that they have changed the brake efficiency because airplanes are braking really bad now. Well, that was it. We went, we bombed, we fought, we survived, we landed. I hope you liked it. The Boeing 17 is really a nice airplane and really beautiful. Thank you very much. I try to do some English content and some Portuguese. Sorry for my English, not the best one.